We are live. We've been live for a few seconds. I love this timer on these things. Hello everyone. So this is one. Well, it's my first after the summit that I did last week of having the talk live, which I'm continuing and going to bring on some guests because I had so much fun last week chatting to people that I thought let's keep it going. So today I'm going to be bringing on the lovely Jennifer McKenzie, and we're going to be having a lovely chat about self-pleasure. And I'm going to let her introduce herself. So let me just bring her up to my stream. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Yes, very good. Excited to have you on here as my guest to have a nice chat, as you welcomed me so nicely onto your channel the other day. And we chatted for hours, so pre-warning everyone. We apologise for that, but off you go. Let's hear about what who you are and what it is you're up to.
Okay, hello everybody. I am Jennifer McKenzie, the Conscious Living Coach, owner and founder of Lunar Spirit Wellbeing and the Healing Shed Limited. So I have a lot of strings to my bow within my business. So I have an in-person business, which is holistic therapy and beauty treatments, which is the Healing Shed. And I also have my online business where I am the Conscious Living Coach. So I provide online coaching to people all over the world. And I also run spiritual workshops to help you deal with anxiety, build confidence, and stop self-sabotage. So that's what I do professionally. Personally, yeah, I'm all manner of things, you know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I love that. Just ask me and I will become.
Yes. Whoever you want me to be.
Yes,
So,
indeed.
yeah. So that's what I do professionally. Yeah. And I practice everything that I preach. I live consciously. I kind of live by the 80-20 rule, where 80% of the time I am nourishing my body and practicing holistic practices. And 20% of the time, I'll sit on the sofa eating crisps and chocolate.
Absolutely. So I loved it. I loved it when we chatted, but I love the fact that you called yourself the Conscious Living Coach, because I think one of the big things that I will talk quite a lot about to people is how the shift comes from being conscious of our decision making. So it comes across a lot when I'm talking to people about sex, particularly. They'll say yes I do that, or yes I don't do, but actually when you actually sit them down and kind of say, okay, now if you're really to think about it, do you really do that? Do you really make those decisions for you, or are you making them for a societal message that gets thrown out of you? Do you find that quite a lot?
Personally, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I grew up making decisions based on other people's opinions, other people's judgments, and wasn't really my own. Because my mother encouraged me to express my individuality, but then when I got to school, I was bullied for that. So I was very confused. I was like, well, can I be myself or can I not? Society says no. So I decided that I would shut up, really. And I became really shy and withdrawn. So yeah, school was a tough time, but then my upbringing didn't kind of match with what the world thought. I had parents who smoked weed and did yoga. I must admit, not when I was little, when they were young.
I think when you're just crawling around on the floor, yeah, they're doing
Put my parents in it.
Yeah. Not then. No, oh god, I love that. Just don't watch this. Sorry mom, sorry dad. But yeah, it's interesting though, isn't it? You said like you're saying that and you're growing up. One of my ish concerns I even have with my kids now, growing up with a mom who's a sex educator in essence, and then coming home, and then my daughter at the moment, and we talked about this, that she's 10, she's coming home with these things from her sex ed parts of a course that she's doing right now, and I'm just going, oh yeah, but to her all the time, I'm going, but, and you don't forget about this as well, it's a lot of information, and again she's going into this space of being well more educated and open than anyone else would be, so it's quite hard to kind of send them into the world sometimes, even though they need it. because of what it could, as you say, what, you know, my so I don't know if I told you the other day, my son got was shouting at me across the playground the other day that one of his friends said, "Mummy, you know, blah blah blah, said that you're chubby." And it's like one of those, and it's one of those kind of conversations that you're just thinking, okay, you have to like, what are we seeing around us? Because I'm sure the parents aren't sitting around watching TV with their kids going, so that one's fat and that one's skinny and that one's, but it's just like, so where did these messages come from? It's so easy, and they're 5, and it's just like, how do they come from this and like thrown into these situations?
Well, I'm going to tell you a story actually, because when my middle daughter was little, she said to a larger person in Sainsbury's, "Mum, I think they've eaten too many McDonald's." And that came from me, because I said, if you eat too many fast foods and takeaways, you will get fat. So she's then said that to this person, which, you know, there's lots of reasons for being larger. It doesn't necessarily mean you're overeating, you know, but because of that kind of throwaway comment that I said to her without really thinking about it, she's then just taken it in layman's terms and just gone, that's what it means, you know. So language is so important, and what we're saying in front of our children. I mean, God help mine. I'm mad as a box of frogs, but I embarrass them everywhere, getting them back. You see, you know. I try and, you know, conscious parent, and I encourage them to speak up for themselves and to embrace their individuality. And then from my own experience, I add on, you know, that was kind of bullied out of me, and don't, you know, take on what other people say to you or think of you, because that's none of your business. It doesn't affect who you are. That's their business and their projection onto you because they're insecure.
But so because that kind of brings on, we were talking about, because a lot of the things we were chatting about was self-pleasure, which is why I kind of like was, you know, how we kind of connected around that thing, because of course it's not just about sex, but you know, I hear a lot of the stories that come from that journey comes from being, you know, in the childhood sphere, and having, you know, self-pleasure in the sexual way, so masturbation, you know, given this really, you know, bad, you know, naughty, don't do that kind of vibe, but not only like from your parents, but there's an element of it from everywhere, like on online and stuff, and we get stuck in that, don't we get stuck with that messaging throughout us, and it doesn't just trigger the sexual self-pleasure, right? It doesn't.
Yes, I mean, self-pleasure, I mean, you know, take that word, that it's like pleasure that you are giving to yourself. You can get pleasure from, you know, going for a walk. You can get pleasure from, you know, almost anything that you kind of like. But when I talk about self-pleasure, there obviously is, if it ends in sexual gratification, then okay. But that isn't then the main point of self-pleasure. They are two separate things, really. Which can come together. No pun intended. Sorry.
But they do, though.
If you're lucky. So, you know, but when I teach about self-pleasure in my spiritual practice, I teach about getting to know yourself and what you like. You know, how often have you just sat in a room, in your bedroom, and like, you know, like in your underwear or something, and just touched your own body, you know, and enjoyed, you know, getting to know how it feels, where you like to be touched and where you don't like to be touched, because this, you know, that will help you then in relationships, because knowing what you like and what you don't like can help you then communicate that to that person you're either having sex with or you're having a relationship with. And yeah, so I teach like self-massage, and I teach also movement. So pleasure in connecting to yourself through movement. So literally just getting out of your head and into your body. Stop thinking so much and start doing. And so just close your eyes, put on some music, and just let your body guide you. Just let your body move. and let your hands and your voice, you let whatever sounds come out, and just letting go. Because like a lot of people that I coach and teach and stuff, they're just so kind of thinking and so wound up about what's right and what's wrong and what people think, what someone else is doing. It's like, forget all that outside noise and just connect with yourself. And get to know your body, get to know what you like, look at it in the mirror, stand there naked, get to look what your bits and pieces look like.
It is such a powerful thing to do, though, isn't it? It is a powerful, like, even just that, even just standing and looking at yourself. Like, I will say that until recently, I didn't have mirrors in my house because there was this, I had an image in my head of what it was and what beauty was meant to be and all these kind of things. But it's such a powerful tool when you kind of like go, oh, actually, this is me. And I don't hate myself, so why am I worried about this? Why is there, this is who I am, and I love my body, and I love sex, and I love things. So it's like, just, out of here, out of this. But, you said it completely right. It's out of that space that you'll have, the biggest thing I talk about with clients is about desire, is that thing where you get stuck in your head and you have that break, that thing that just goes, I don't want it no more, I'm done, and it's mostly because you just don't really know what gets you going.
Desire, it's like when we talk about that, there seems to be like stigma around like wanting something and like something turning you on, like fetish, just simple things. You don't have to have some weird mad BDSM fetish for it, you know what I mean? It's like your desire, and desire go across the board, not just sexual desire, but your desires in life. Often we put those to the back, or we kind of push them down because we think that they're wrong, or it's wrong to want something or desire something, so much. And that's what I teach in like my manifestation stuff and spiritual practice. It's like, get in touch with, those deep desires. That's where the feeling is. And so I'm all about feeling, feeling your way through life, feeling, what feels good. Do more of that. What feels rubbish? Maybe not do it again. But, there's no harm in trying things and experimenting.
But we never take the time to actually do that, though, do we? That's what I say. That's why your work is so important. We don't take the time to kind of think about that.
Yeah, it's so important. And it's like, because we're conditioned that, you go to school, you leave school, you get a job, you meet someone, you get married, or you buy a house, you get married, you have a baby, and that's like, well, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong.
I did that.
Like, like a bad thing. It's not at all. That's what you want to do. That's absolutely fine. But there is more to life than doing, what is normal in society. And, a lot of people don't want that. Me included, actually. I made a lot of decisions when I was younger based on other people's desires, society's desires. About my sexuality as well. I come out as bi like when I was 14, but and then I came out as gay last year. So it's like, but it's labels. It doesn't really mean anything. I like who I like, really. but it's, I spent years in unhappy relationships with men because I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah. Yes. That's the big story, isn't it? Like what we're supposed to do, particularly as women, what we are supposed to do, like, what we're supposed to like, how we're supposed to act. And if it doesn't fit that mold, there's this guilt that comes around in it. And it's like you say, it is the guilt of kind of taking that time to work out who we are. Goes on to the self-pleasure, the self-care conversation, and why professions like you, like coaching, has definitely come into its own now, and I think is getting bigger, and it's amazing. Because we're finally getting to that point where people go, okay, we know we need it, but we need someone to kind of just guide us through it and push us to that point, give us the permission to kind of stop and go, I'm allowed to work out what I like, you know, what I don't like. And I did the same thing. I'd like exactly what you said. I did the school, the marriage, the mortgage, the 2 kids, hit my early 30s and went, holy shit, what have I done? I've done everything that society has taught me to do. But actually, when I sat and went, is this me? It's like, no. And you know, people were going to say, you know, why did you have kids? Because you like doing X, Y, and Z, and you like your time alone and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, because I love my kids, but I'm also not going to lose myself because I've had kids. And it was like, but people were going to me, but you're a mum now. Oh no. What? Like, am I meant to act differently? You know, what is that story? And it is, it's that something breaks a cycle, doesn't it? And that was like, there was a cycle break there. It was just like going, this is odd, this is wrong, this is not quite who I am. And yeah, exactly like how you explained it. Like, you're just like, wow. Like, it's crazy.
That's like, I've got 3 daughters, and I'm like to them, you know, follow your heart, you know, but consult your head and your gut at the same time. You know, they're my 3 gateways, and that, you know, let a decision pass through those 3 places before you make it. Because, you know, you think with your head, and it's like, okay, well, that's the logical thing to do. And then you go and make that decision, or, okay, that's what I've been told, I'm going to go and do that. But then if you go down, pass it to your heart, is that what I desire in here? Maybe not. Then you ask yourself, okay, what is it I desire? Maybe I could do that, but in this way. And then you pass through your gut, and it's like, well, you know, what does my instinct say to me? Because instinct and your intuition is so important.
So when you think about that, I would say that's just come up with a question that I would ask you actually from that. When you think about that, and then I talk about quite a lot about boundaries, and that we need to kind of gently push like past them. You know, where do we find that balance of kind of like the gut kind of going, that's not happening, you know, kind of thing. But obviously that doesn't necessarily also mean that it shouldn't be something that we try. You know, do we try these things, or what?
That's fear then. That's fear. True. And then we get into, so fear and excitement can feel similar. But then, like, if you give in to that fear and you don't do it, then we're in the realms of limiting beliefs then, aren't we? Like, you know, and so that's why it's good to investigate those limiting beliefs. And ask yourself, you know, is there something that I wanted to do, but I didn't do it?
Yeah.
Then I said, well, why didn't you do it? Was it an outside circumstance, or was it an inside decision? Yeah. And it's like, okay, then you start thinking, and then your thinking goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's just like, then you start opening this whole can of worms of questioning your whole life and spiritual awakening. It's like,
it's just like, why did I ever do that? Why did that? Why? But it isn't it now, as I say to you, do you want to do something, just go, why are you, you know, why do you want to do that? Why do you feel like you need to do that? When you were saying earlier, what triggered me, something I find really funny, and how it can be really odd things that make you trigger it, is I used to be one of those people that would message everyone when everyone else said, oh my God, what a day we've had, I can't wait to get home and have a glass of wine. I go, oh yeah, I could do with a glass of wine, I'm so good. I don't drink, really. But to fit into this thing, I was telling everyone, I was going, oh yeah, because that was, clearly having a glass of wine is a de-stressor, so I feel like I need to de-stress. So maybe, am I doing something wrong? Should I be having a glass of wine? Should I be doing, you know, it's fun, and we do, and we follow this like little herd until someone puts a
wine clock, isn't it?
Someone puts like a, I don't know, a gate in the way. Just like, I've got to go over that. I might think about that first.
Just challenge it. I did in the parents group chat on WhatsApp, and then I left.
Left or kicked out?
Oh no, I left. I couldn't bother. So no, but it was like with the lockdown, there's all these pressures on the homeschooling, and then it was like, you know, 11 in the morning. Oh, I need a gin. And I'm just like, well, actually, have you not thought about your child will survive if you don't do fucking algebra today? Sorry.
Right.
you know, and why don't you go outside and do something fun with them instead?
Yeah.
And make yourself a brew love.
Yes. But it is, isn't it? It become that whole mental health thing. I mean, I did
like really judgy, and you know, and I was only sort of bringing something into the light. I was just saying, you know, well, actually, why put so much pressure on yourself and your child? Because it's clearly making you want to drink. So, and it wasn't very well received. So I left.
But I can see that, you know, there is these stories that come saying, well, we should be doing that. We should be following a herd. We should be, you know, keeping in with this. I think we've spoken about this quite a bit, and we like the tribes, you know, keeping in this little tribe, and you have this fear of like coming out of it and actually getting outside of the tribe because it's danger. And it is, because we're taught that if we're on the plains somewhere and, you know, we're outside of our tribe, we're going to be eaten by something. So
that goes back to kind of, when we first evolved, I guess, isn't it? Because when, you know, that fight, flight or freeze thing, survival instinct, you know, comes from that. And that's like kind of what anxiety is. Well, it is really, it's a survival instinct. But when it becomes a problem, we need anxiety, you know. But then when it becomes problems, then it starts to overtake your everyday you know, life.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, when it really kind of like you know drags you down. But you know, it's sometimes it's about having that okay about, you know, changing things and moving things and not hitting the black and white. And we love the grey. I was talking to someone already this morning. I said, I love the grey now. My grey is my space. You know, and you know, we love the kinks and the grey.
I push things out and go all out rainbow.
Rainbow. Yes, you know, just why are we picking grey? Why is it between black and white grey? It's not, is it? It should be rainbow.
But, right, this is the thing, right? There's so much fear around other people's opinions. The fear of being disliked is real for a lot of people. That's why they stay in those circles. And you know, if some people are just afraid to stand on their own. But then I don't know, I've always been like a lone wolf, really. So I've always been that person. You know, not really the black sheep, but the rainbow sheep.
The rainbow sheep. I love the rainbow sheep.
Goes off on her own and like makes her own decisions.
Yeah.
But you know, saying that wasn't really me, because I did make decisions based on other people, but I've never been afraid to stand up and speak my mind. Which has also got me in trouble.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm one of those people that didn't until sort of like recently in life, and it has the same struggles the other way around. You become, you know, I've had to get out of the yes person, the yes, and you know, I used to get bogged down with work and bogged down with home life, and I was like, I'll do that, and before you realize it, you're like, no one asks you anymore. You just expected to do everything. Exactly. And that's what happens with the yes stuff, isn't it? And it's definitely a balance. But there we go. We're now conscious of what we're doing, so it's fine. So every time we do the shout out or the kind of like yes, at least it's like it's our decision to say such things, right? You're just exactly.
I just urge people to kind of like get to know themselves. Do their own research on stuff. Meditation, you know, that self-awareness is amazing. And then make informed, conscious choices about your own life. And anybody who tries to sort of judge you for making your own life choices, you know, it should really kind of take a long, hard look at themselves, really, because you know, people are going to judge you no matter what you do. So you may as well do things that you enjoy and make you happy.
Exactly. Yeah, brings you back to that. Yeah, brings you back to that self-pleasure. I think it's going to bring you back to whatever that self-pleasure is, whether it's, as you say, the walk, the, you know, coming home to find the dishwasher's been put on, or which is mine. It's one of my self-pleasures. Like,
I would love it if someone came and washed up for me.
Yeah.
And I got home. Well, actually, I've got a cleaner, so that actually doesn't.
Yeah, but as you say, but then that's that point, isn't it? You're kind of going, what is it that brings me pleasure? And one of the things I hate is housework. Brings me pleasure is someone else doing it.
Yeah,
It's just like, and it's just like, and this is where that I think that story comes in, where we put a lot of pressure on this story of like self-pleasure, thinking people do, when I talk about it, people are going into that same going, oh, you want me to sit and masturbate. It's like, I'd love you to if you're comfortable with it, but actually, if sitting on the sofa holding hands brings you that same satisfaction and happiness, then do that. It doesn't always have to be this it's about what it's about who you are, what you like, and how you want to find those things in life.
Feel that urge to take it that step further, then it's healthy anyway. Masturbation's healthy. It's a great reliever for a headache, and
puts me to sleep nicely. It's like a great thing. It's like
I use it for manifestation as well, because like that orgasmic energy is really high vibe. So if you think when you're in that kind of euphoria, think of how kind of open business is, and how good that is. And content writing, it's great.
Oh, do you know what? I'll have to try that. This is like, probably can't do it quite right now, since I'm at my parents' house at the moment in their garage, but that'd be a bit awkward. But yeah, I'm gonna be trying that. That's the next thing to try. Write content after
creativity.
Euphoric enjoyment of my body.
Yesterday before I had to record a meditation because I wanted the vibes high.
I love that. I want to listen to that meditation. No.
It's part of my new abundance kit that I've released. So it's called Rich Bitch Abundance Kit.
I was about to say to you, tell us more about what you're up to, like, and how people can connect and what you're doing.
What I'm up to at the minute. So I have a podcast called That Inner Voice, which I think now, if you ask Alexa, I've added it to Amazon Music, so I'm hoping I haven't got an Alexa to ask. So if someone's got an Alexa, please ask
Alexa. I've got an Alexa.
That Inner Voice podcast. So you can listen to that. It's all about like mental health, coaching, conscious living, and addiction recovery. What else am I up to? I have just released my merchandise, and my online store will be opening very, very soon, where you'll be able to buy ritual kits, hoodies, t-shirts, water bottles, mugs, and holistic and spiritual gifts. I'll be on there as well, so it's very exciting. I'm writing a book at the minute as well, and I'm going away for a few days next week to a yurt by a lake to go and have some alone time and get these chapters banged out onto my computer instead of on loads of different bits of paper and scattered everywhere. So that's really exciting, and that's all about conscious living, and my journey. And I coach online and in person. I have workshops coming up. I've got a self-love workshop coming up actually on the 20th of May. It's an online workshop, and it's all about that. What we've kind of talked about is getting in touch with yourself. It's about self-massage. It's about meditation, in getting in touch with the divine feminine. And also I will teach you some massage moves for pain relief and stress relief, some acupressure points and reflex points on the feet. And we will be also connecting to ourselves through movement. And you can turn your cameras off for that, so no one else to see you. You can literally turn your camera off and you can just let yourself move. So I'm really excited about that actually, because self-love is the best kind of love.
Indeed, very exciting. Well, I will of course put your links out and share, and I'm sure we will continue to have different conversations as we go along, and obviously let me know when things are coming up for you, new things. Thank you so much for taking the time for me this lunchtime. It's time to go and get some grub, right? It's lunchtime.
I've got a client. I've got to go get ready for a hands-on treatment client.
Oh, it's amazing when that suddenly came back, as someone said to me the other day. I was just like, we can do that now. I was like, I forgot. You just forget. Like I can make an appointment to get my nails done. I was like, I forget these things. No, thank you so much for your time today. I'm really excited everything that you have got going on. I will be keeping a close eye on it all. And we'll chat again very soon. Cool. See you later. Right, bye everyone. Cheers. Bye.